Hey fam, it is your girl MarshaunO. I am your favorite life and relationship strategist, and I'm sure you already seen the title. So a young lady was asking me some questions about a relationship, asking for my advice, and we were going back and forth and we were talking about it, and she basically was saying how Facebook was ruining her relationship. And so I want to come here and address that particular thing today. How Facebook, i.e. social media, is, or is it, affecting your relationship. And so what I told her and what I'm going to share with you guys here today is that Facebook within itself is not ruining her relationship. And maybe you thinking that it could be ruining your relationship, or other social media outlets as well could possibly be ruining your relationship. Well, I have to say, I'm here to tell you that it's not the platform itself that is ruining your relationship. It is the spouse, it is the partner, it is the guy that you're dating, it is the girl that you're dating who is actually ruining your relationship. And I know that that's something that you probably wasn't thinking, or maybe it's just out here in your face and you're like, yeah, right. The platform itself is not ruining your relationship, but the person that you chose is actually ruining your relationship. Because here's the thing. When we get into these relationships, we make a choice to say that, you know what, I'm actually going to be faithful or not. I'm actually going to do the right thing because it's something that I need to do, or I'm going to do what I want to do, whether I'm in a relationship or not. It really doesn't matter who I'm in a relationship with. I'm actually in a relationship with you today, but I could be in a relationship with her tomorrow and then choose somebody else the next day. It really is all about what I want to do. So social media can make a cheater more sneaky, and they can be potentially more private because they have passwords and all this other stuff to get into their account that you probably don't have access to. But again, it is not the platform itself that is actually ruining your relationship. It is the person that you're in a relationship with who is ruining your relationship, because they obviously don't respect you and your relationship enough to be honorable to you, to be a one man for you. And of course, we know that this applies to women, but I'm specifically talking to the women today because this person was a woman. So of course, like I said, you can always just interchange the pronouns as you see fit, but I'm specifically going to always talk about the guys because the person I was talking to was a woman. But in any event, it really has to do with this. When you're in a relationship with somebody, you're choosing to be there. Like every single day that you wake up, every single thing that you do when you're out and about, every time you decide or choose to disrespect the relationship, to disrespect your partner, that has nothing to do with social media. So if I'm out, actually, I have a personal example. I wasn't really dating him, but we went out on a few dates. This guy and I went out on a few dates, and I ended it because I just felt like something wasn't right. And what actually ended up happening is basically he told me that he doesn't really like cell phones, so just we'll contact each other via email. And it didn't sit right with me in the beginning, but I was just like, okay, whatever, people have their thing. But then that just wouldn't go away. Like the email portion of it just wouldn't go away. And it was several years ago actually, but still it was in a time where everybody has a cell phone. Now, most people got a cell phone if you didn't have one after 9/11. So after 9/11 happened, that's when all of these cell phones became so prevalent, and then we got the smartphones, et cetera, right? So this was after 9/11, but definitely several years ago. But my point is, he was like, well, I don't really do the cell phone thing. I like the email system. Again, could have been plausible. It could have been, but probably not. And he didn't specifically say like Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or any of those things, but still email could definitely be a way for me if I could have been his girlfriend, because I still don't know to this day if he actually had a girl or not, or if that was just his way of doing things. And it just didn't sit right with me personally. So I was just like, this don't feel right. I'm gonna keep it moving. I just moved on with life and didn't worry about it any longer. But my point that I'm bringing up that correlates with this story today is he could have been being shady. Everybody got phones. And it wasn't even so much that he just was like, okay, I don't have a cell phone, but here's my house number. He was just like, I don't do phones, so you can email me. And I'm like, again, I played along with it for a minute, but it just never would go away. And every time I talk about that gut feeling, I had that gut feeling and it just wouldn't go away. So I had to deal with what my gut was saying. I had to follow what my gut was saying, and I had to move on. So my intuition, because that's that gut feeling, my intuition was telling me that he had somebody. But I was just like, and then, I wasn't dating nobody at the time. I was feeling a little lonely, so that came into play. But ultimately, I just had to say, nah. But at the end of the day, it had to do with him making a choice to say, you know what, I want to dibble and dabble on the side. And if she decides, meaning me in this story, if she decides to go ahead and go along with the email plan, and I see her here, there, and whatever, and I don't have to worry about my phone ringing, I don't have to worry about this, that, and the other, feeling like I'm being sneaky because I'm just checking my email, right? I'm just answering my email, right? So it's all about the choice. It's all about how you are showing up when you're away from your spouse. So if you decide to get somebody's social media account, but you're trying to be sneaky about it and y'all in each other's DM, yeah, she actually know that you got a girl, but you're just checking your DM, right? You just answering your friend in your DM, but the DM message is about the next time y'all about to hook up, or how good the sex was, or whatever the topic of discussion is that is inappropriate, that you would not like if your girl was doing the same thing. Why are you doing it? Yeah, why are you doing it? If you were not being sneaky, then that person could just call you, and you could meet out with your girl with this new friend. If it's nothing going on, now you still got to watch that, because some women will go along with that program too. So really just depends. You have to just pay attention, as I talked about my gut before. You really have to pay attention to what your gut is telling you. But social media, Facebook in particular, is not ruining your relationship. It is the partner that you chose and the choices that your partner is making. So now what you have to do is make sure, or at least bring it to their attention, and your partner has to take responsibility for the role that they're actually playing in ruining of the relationship. It's not Facebook. It's not social media. It is all about the choices that your partner is making and the things that he is doing out there in the world and trying to be sneaky about it. And so he's using another way to keep in contact with all of these sexy other people that he finds attractive. And a lot of times, now this is not every time, but a lot of times what I found when I'm talking to my clients is that a lot of times they decide to keep these women on the side. So when you messing up at home, but they still need that attention, they still need to feel wanted and needed, that's when they start to contact these friends. And then because they mad at you for whatever, so instead of them paying attention to the relationship and actually getting y'all two together, what he would rather do is go outside of the relationship, pay attention to the people that's on the phone, he ha ha with the people on the phone, whether it's going toward a sexual thing or a hookup thing or not. He's getting his needs fulfilled emotionally because you're not wanting him at the house for whatever reason, whatever happened at the house. Y'all two not paying attention to each other. And so now he's getting that need met. He's getting that need fulfilled through his social media contacts. And that actually will prolong him not coming back to you saying, I'm sorry, or getting the thing, whatever happened, back under control. Whether you try to go to him and actually say, you know what, babe, I'm sorry, let's talk this thing through, because he's already still getting the needs met over here. And so really he's being selfish. Really he's being stingy. Really he is that old saying, right? Having his cake and eating it too, because he can still be in the house with you. He never even has to leave, but he's getting that emotional attention, and he's feeling like he's needed from somebody else, whether he's getting it from you or the other person. It really doesn't matter. On a side note, That is another reason why we have so many breakdowns in relationships, because we would rather, instead of fixing what's actually happening in your own relationship, now you decide to go and hang out and talk with and engage in conversation and prolong this over here, keep this over here in turmoil, while you're trying to now rebuild or rekindle something over here. But if you actually dropped all of this over here, because they're bringing nothing to the table for you other than headaches, because as soon as the ball drop, because the ball is going to drop, it always drops. It doesn't matter how long it takes for the ball to drop. It will drop eventually. And so when the ball drops over here, and then you lose this person over here because they found out that you was over here, but you don't even want the person over here. So you're willing to risk a relationship with the person over here, but you really don't want them like that, which is why you chose this person over here. But the person over here found out about the shady stuff that you was doing with X person over here, and now neither one of them wants you. Or maybe this person actually does really want you, and then when she gets you, you don't really even want her like that. You really miss this person. And so instead of you actually paying attention and getting your home life together, you rather play the field, whether or not you actively leaving the house, whether or not you actively having sex, it does not matter. If it's a sexual fulfillment, emotional fulfillment, spiritual fulfillment, whatever fulfillment that you're getting over here that you're not getting over here, or maybe because you're being stubborn and you're letting this fester and go on for so much longer, instead of, baby, what can we actually do to get this thing together? What can we do to make sure that we don't want accord? What can we actually do to make sure that this conversation doesn't have to happen again? How can we get rid of talking about this particular disagreement? How could I have handled that better? So the next time it happens, we'll know how to diffuse it a lot faster. So instead of asking questions like that to get to the bottom of what actually happened over here, you'd rather deal with this person over here temporarily. Because again, if you lose your main person to the side person, you usually don't end up with the side person. Even if you do temporarily, it's never long term. So please understand that it is not Facebook that is ruining your relationship. It is the person, the party, the spouse, the engaged person, the husband, the wife that you chose. And they're deciding, they are choosing literally to ruin your relationship, all because they think that they can get away with doing something for a long period of time, and in the hopes of never getting caught. Think about that. Think about that. It's not Facebook. It's your partner.